Unless you're underneath a rock, everywhere you look, every indicator that we see online in the comment section, in Reddit, in your circle of reseller friends, everywhere on the internet, everyone is pointing to eBay dying. Sellers are leaving, buyers are leaving. They've jumped the shark. The days of the eBay good old days are over. It's finished. We see that everywhere. But is it true? If it's your first time to the channel, my name is Tech, and I was the #1 seller of pre-owned men's clothing on eBay for 15 years. On Thursday, I like to make these quick hitter videos, a thought, something straight to the point that could help you in your business, maybe some sort of thought exercise. On Monday, we come with the flea market world domination. This week, I put out a video about the new promoted listing strategy. The comment sections blew up. You guys didn't like that one. You guys don't like the promoted listings, and I get it, I understand it. On Friday, we do the podcast, usually a little bit more drawn out, a bigger discussion, usually with a guest. On Wednesday, we do the open Q&A where I answer hundreds of questions, rapid fire, live for everybody. So on Monday, we released that video, a new promoted listings update where in Europe, UK, Italy, Spain, Australia, and a couple other countries, not in America yet, they are instituting and implementing a policy where if you have a promoted listing, a buyer clicks on it, does not buy it, and then anytime in the next 30 days after, so long as that item is still part of a promoted listing strategy, a buyer can click on the organic link and you will still be charged a promoted listings fee. And we touched on the policy in the video. And for me, I am not an eBay apologist. I am black and white. I am of the objective perspective. If I get hit by a bus in the street, I shouldn't have been in the street. I don't feel bad for the bus driver. I don't feel bad for the bus, and I certainly don't feel bad for me. So I like to gather the facts. I like to look at the objective perspective of what's actually going on. And in the comments, a lot of people, very, very emotional responses. And I understand when we're talking about our business, we're talking about our money, we're talking about our efforts, it can draw out a lot of emotion. But we have to look at the facts. We have to see why eBay is doing this. And the reason why eBay is trying to capture as many promoted listing sales as possible is that is the best way ever to get more profit for the company without acquiring any new buyers, any new sellers, or selling any additional items. It doesn't matter if the buyers leave, it doesn't matter if the sellers leave, it doesn't matter if they sell any additional items. By gathering a promoted listings fee on every single sale, which going forward, maybe that might be the new reality, they will make more money. Why do they need to make more money? They're a business just like you and I. You and I, we want to make more money. We want to sell more items. eBay is a publicly traded company. They need to make more money. Every single quarter, every single year, they need to make more money. They need to sell more items. Every single year, every single quarter, they need to sell more items. And if you look at the stock, despite what everyone is saying that eBay is a sinking ship, Vinted, Poshmark, Etsy, whatnot, Macari, they're gonna eat eBay's lunch, they're gonna die a death of 1,000 paper cuts. If you look at the stock, a lot of people are very happy with what eBay is doing. A lot of people are very happy at the job of the CEO is doing. The last month, they are up 10%. The last 6 months, they are up almost 13%. Year to date, 17%. 1 year, almost 40%. 5 years, they are up 60%. And if you go all the way out and look at the entire history of the stock, they are knocking on the door of all-time highs. The all-time high came kind of at that peak of COVID, and they are inching up right to there. They're only a couple of dollars behind. So they're currently at a 52-week high, $72.94. Obviously, a lot of people out there like what they see, a $33.5 billion market cap. They're selling items, they're making more money. And a lot of people like to say, well, the CEO is sinking them, the CEO is doing this, the company is gonna do this, the company is gonna do that. Look at the stock. Obviously, the stock is performing near or at all-time highs despite whatever people want to say or believe online. And they are a company, they are a business who is making the best choice for their business, just like all of us should be doing. When we talk about things on this channel, we talk about having leverage. We talk about having the best opportunity for our business. We talk about selling the most items. We talk about making the most money. Well, people will say, well, they have enough money. Well, what about you? You don't have enough money? What if someone comes into your house and looks around and says, hey, you've got too much money, so therefore you don't need any more. You wouldn't like that. eBay is planning things. They need to have a reserve. So when things aren't great, they have some money to lean on. Maybe they're thinking about making an acquisition. Maybe they're thinking about investing in AI. Maybe they're thinking about investing people. They need to have money and resources to do this. They have over 11,000 employees, not counting all of us who work for eBay on a 1099 format, where they are supporting and helping millions of people around the world work on the dream that they want, because if you're not working on the dream that you want, somebody else will hire you to work on their dream. So be thankful for what we do have. We have the opportunity to do what we're doing in the capacity that we're doing it in. Do we always like what's happening? No. Can we vent frustration? Can we do this? Can we do that? We could do whatever we want. But at the end of the day, there were a lot of comments that said a lot of stuff, and my response to them was, now what? Now what are we going to do? I put out the video because it's important to know what those guys are thinking so we can best navigate the seas as they approach us, because there is a lot of people that do not know what's happening with promoted listings. There's a lot of people, civilians, amateurs, part-timers, even full-timers, that if that video was not out, we wouldn't have any idea what's going on, because they update the policy and they don't scream it from the mountaintops. They do what they're supposed to do. They update the policy. They let us know if you want to read it, read it. If you don't, you don't. But there's a lot of people that are civilians, part-timers, who don't do this seriously, who have no idea what's going on. And they are going to lift their fair share of the burden of giving eBay more money. At least if we are informed, we know what's going on, we can better pivot and strategize and do what we're supposed to do in the best interest of our business. And at the end of the day, the market is the market. This is a free market. You are not required, you are not forced, you are not obligated to sell on eBay. So if the grass is greener somewhere else, go there. The money is just as green, or whatever kind of color it is in your country, where you don't have to sell on eBay to make money. You don't have to sell on eBay to make sales. If your sales are better spent on Poshmark, go ahead. If your sales are better spent on whatnot, go ahead. If your sales are better spent in the front yard of your driveway every Saturday and Sunday doing a garage sale, then go ahead. So long as the money is green, you're not breaking any laws, and you're not hurting anybody, go wherever your customer is and go where you have the most amount of leverage. Right now, eBay knows that they have the most amount of leverage. They know that they are the best game in town. For everything eBay offers us, all of the marketing, all of the customers, all of the conflict resolution, the messages, the return requests, the uptime, the hosting of photos, hosting of listings, all of this kind of stuff that they do, it's the best game in town, and nobody is even close. They know that. They have the leverage, and deep down inside, we know that, and deep down inside, we know they have the leverage, and deep down inside, that there is no better value anywhere on the internet for selling pre-owned items like we all do. So we have to conform and do what eBay is asking us to do, because they are asking us to take a smaller profit. They are asking us to make up for it in volume. They are asking us to put higher profit items on eBay if we don't want to make up for it in volume. So there's two ways to win this race. One is, we talk about it a lot, the kind of $20 profit that is in the neighborhood of a $30 sale. Maybe the $30 sale is gone. Maybe we got to get $40 sales. We talk about doing more. People don't want to hear that. Every single time I talk about doing more listings, doing more work to make the same amount of money, people don't want to hear that. But again, over and over again, that is the rhetoric of that is the times that we are in. We're in the time of doing more to make the same amount of money, and we're at it once again. And guys, this is not going to change. Because every single quarter, every single year, it is the CEO's job to make more money for the eBay machine. If he doesn't, they will fire him and put somebody else in their place. Same like all of us. We need to look at our job as our own CEO and ask ourselves, are we making more money? Are we selling more items? If so, fire yourself. Because every single business needs to make more money and needs to make more sales. It's not eBay's fault. They're a business, they're a company. You look at every single business in the world, none of them wake up in the morning and go, we want to make less money and sell less items. That's not how it works. It's not how the market works. We have to look at stuff on a factual basis. And on a factual basis, look at the way the stock is performing Somebody out there, whether it's BlackRock, Vanguard, whoever, they believe deep down in their soul that eBay is on the right track of selling more items and making more money. And if they're doing that, they are offering security to all of us, because would you rather be on a platform that is losing money and selling less items? Would you want to be on that platform? Because if so, I wouldn't feel very content. And if you look around the internet, you look at Etsy, their all-time high was at like $250. Now they're 75% down. You look at, they acquired Depop. You look at Whatnot. You look at Poshmark. Poshmark is now privately held. Poshmark is now actively suspending people that are delisting, relisting. Why? Because it costs them money every single time that you delist and relist an item. So if you were a company, do you want to spend money processing and hosting the photo of the same item 100 times or 100 new items 100 times? So they're getting their butt kicked by us delisting and relisting. eBay too. eBay does not appreciate delisting, relisting from a monetary standpoint. They would rather you list 100 new items than delist, relist, process, and spend money to relist the same 100 items that you already have. But do they complain about that? Do they make a post about that? Do they say resellers are dying because we're costing them money? No. Will they make it a policy one day? Maybe. But we have to understand what is going on. We have to understand why are they doing these things. And once we gain an understanding and look at it objectively and not emotionally, we take our emotions out of it. I am stone cold not emotional. We take the emotions out of it, we look at it objectively, and we can understand why they are doing this. And if we can understand why they are doing this, we can understand what we need to do to combat that. They have the leverage. If you want to quit eBay, go ahead. There will be a new ass to sit in that seat tomorrow. If you want to go, go. If not, stay, ride it out. Make sure that you are doing what's in the best interest of your business. And if you have to list a couple more items per day, it sucks. But that's the way the world works. That's how it goes. And it's going to be like that forever. It's always been like that. And every single thing that we talk about on this channel is talking about these things. A couple of weeks ago, I made a video about having a larger store might be a necessity. That's code for you have to do more. And I know people don't like it. I know we want to be on easy street, but like the easy street is abandoned. It's gone. Doing more, getting better is the reality. And if we cannot do it, it's a sink or swim. That's business. Business 101. It's cutthroat. It takes effort. You have to put everything that you have into it. You need to be aggressive. You need to be proactive, not reactive. We just have to know what's going on. And what's going on is outside of our control. But what is inside of our control is putting up the best listings that we can and as many of them as we humanly possibly can. So like everyone on the internet can scream from the highest mountains that eBay is crumbling, people are eating their lunch, they're taking market share, they're gonna dominate them and kill them in this market, and the CEO's doing this and the company has no idea what they're doing. A lie that is unchallenged becomes the truth. So whenever someone says something, you need to fact check it. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't, and a lie that is unchallenged becomes the truth. Look at the facts, look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. And eBay is knocking on the door of an all-time high. So there's people out there, they believe in the stock. They believe that eBay is going to make more money, make more profit as time goes on. And we need to do the same thing. More items sold, more profit for our company that we are the CEO of. If you went out there and solicited investors, would people invest in your company if you sold less items and made less money? Would people invest in your company if you were flat year over year, flat quarter over quarter? They would not have much confidence in your business. So they have to do what they have to do, and we have to do what we have to do. The writing is on the wall. It is crystal clear what's happening. It's crystal clear how they plan to make more money, crystal clear how they plan to make more profits. So we have to make sure that we are conditioning our business and ourselves in the right manner. So are we happy? Are we excited about what's going on? No. Is it fair? Maybe not. Does it suck? Absolutely. Are there better ways to make money? Maybe so. Are there easier ways to make money? No. Are they making more money with less resistance? Probably so. So we have to put ourselves in that position of people that run companies and make sure that we are doing the same thing. We are our own pilot, our own guide to the ship. And this type of thing is always going to happen. We're always going to have to adapt, to pivot, and we're going to have to put ourselves in the best position every single day. We have to wake up, we have to put our boots on the ground and make sure that we are doing what's in the best interest of our company, because this is always going to happen. This is not an isolated event. This is not a one-time thing. This type of thing has happened hundreds of times in my reselling career. There will always be something where they are tightening this or doing this or coming after this or looking for that. So we got to continue to do our best to put ourselves into the best position, no matter where that is, how that is, because if your business is suffering, your business is going downhill, nobody cares. Nobody is coming to save you. So make sure we know what's happening, make sure we're staying informed, make sure we're gaining an education, make sure we know the rules of the game if we want to win the game. And hopefully somehow, some way, these videos are helpful. So as always, thank you everybody. Be great. Thank you.